Hi, I'm Joel Reedus, registered dietitian nutritionist and county extension agent for family and community health with the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service. Today I want to talk a little bit about an important topic for anybody, but especially people with type 2 diabetes: serving sizes versus portion sizing. The serving size is a standard amount that's usually listed on a label that has a set amount of nutrients. Portion is the amount that we actually serve ourselves, the amount we actually eat. Those don't always line up. So for an example here, I've got just some cereal I had laying around, and you can look at the front of the package here, and it tells you a lot of information, but the front of the package really has the primary goal of getting you to buy a food. So sometimes it'll have different claims that make something sound healthy. Sometimes they're more legitimate than others, but you can look here and say for a serving, this has 3 grams of added sugar, and you might go, okay, 3 grams of added sugar. Well, that's a great choice for my diabetes. But let's actually look at the nutrition label that's going to have standard nutrition facts. So the first thing that we want to look at is the serving size, because everything on the label is based on that serving size. So for this particular cereal, it's 1 1/3 cup. And then we want to go down to see how many carbohydrates are in there, because that's going to have the primary effect on our blood sugar. So for this particular food, there's 35 grams of carbohydrate and the 1 1/3 cup serving. You'll notice that it has only 3 grams of sugar, but we don't want to just look at the sugar. We want to look at the total carbohydrates, because those readily turn to sugar in our body. So let me show you how that serving looks like in 2 different bowls, one larger than the other. So this is the 1 1/3 cup serving, and a smaller bowl, it looks really pretty full. Now, if we use a bigger bowl, we might put that 1 1/3 cup serving in there, and man, it's really looking kind of pitiful there. So the bigger bowls kind of make us serve ourselves more. So if I was using this bigger bowl at home, this might be the standard serving, but I would probably put some more in. My portion in this bigger bowl might be something more like that, which is 2 servings. So not all foods are going to have a nice convenient nutrition label where you can find out the number of carbohydrates and all the other information. For instance, fresh fruits and vegetables are not going to come with that label. So what we teach in our classes, fruit is a great healthy food. It does have carbohydrates, so we do want to count it and pay attention to it. So as a ballpark, we say a small piece of fruit, like a small peach, a small apple, something like that. That's 1 carb choice, or 15 grams of carbohydrate. If you have a big apple, that'd be more like 2 carb choices, or closer to 30 grams of carbohydrate. A large fruit, like a grapefruit, would be 2 carb choices, so half would be 1, and so on. Another big example of seeing where serving size and portion size vary greatly is with drinks. And I'm talking about sugar-sweetened beverages. That could mean soda, punch, and even things like fruit juice. For most of those drinks, a half of a cup is around 1 carb choice, or 15 grams of carbohydrate. And so half of a cup, that's the serving size. Our portion size is a lot bigger than that. So I'm going to try to show you what a half of a cup looks like once it's in a pretty large cup here, you know. So as you saw with the bowls, we tend to, if we have a bigger bowl or a bigger cup, we're going to put more in it. So let's see how that half of a cup looks in this big glass. Looks kind of sad, doesn't it? It's less than what the portion of what most people would serve themselves, but that's what 1 carb choice is. So you can see where it's easy to go overboard on soda, punch, sports drinks, even juice. I would say that most people, if they were going to serve themselves some juice in a glass like this, they'd go to at least somewhere like that. I think that's a pretty conservative estimate. And let's see, I'm going to measure this out, and that looks like it is about 1.5 cups there. So that is 3 carb choices. So for a lot of people, that's all the carbohydrates you would need for a whole meal just in a drink. So even if you're trying to eat healthy or manage your diabetes, the good news is it's a lot easier these days to find healthier or more appropriate options when eating out. Part of that is because the information is readily available. Any kind of chain restaurant that has more than 20 chains, I believe, has to have that nutrition information posted online so you can make a game plan in advance. And if you don't have time to do that, or you're going to a mom and pop restaurant that doesn't have that information available, you can kind of estimate some of those portion sizes on the fly. So one of my favorite visualizations I use to estimate portion sizes is a baseball. A baseball, if you can picture baseball in your hand, that's kind of like a cup. So if we're talking about mashed potatoes, if you had them all pushed together in the shape of a baseball, that would be 1 cup of potatoes. So obviously half of baseball, half a cup. If you're trying to figure out your portion of meat, deck of cards is about 3 ounces of meat. And if you start paying attention to these things, you'll notice, and as you probably already know, the portion sizes at most restaurants are way more than what we need. So often you can split that in half, share it with a friend, save some for later. When you leave it on the plate right in front of you, you're more likely to eat it. So you might want to just put some in that to-go box right away if you're not splitting it with a friend. Thank you for watching. I hope you've kind of gotten an idea of the importance of serving sizes versus portion sizes and how that information can help you manage your diabetes. If you'd like to learn more, perhaps you'll join one of our classes. You can get more information at acchd.us.